Why have you done this to me? What's going on, everybody? My name is Monotooi, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys our PPL D2 Season 2 end season recap, essentially. The PPL season is over, and we are moving on to D1 next season, spoiler alert. But this is essentially just going to be a video recapping what happened throughout the season, as well as a little bit of additional information at the end. So I hope you guys stick around. Anyway, just to start off, let us first go over the Golden Pokeball Award, the final Golden Pokeball Award. As you can see, Mega Lopunny at the top, sitting pretty. Mega Pinsir kind of caught up, but of course Mega Lopunny still easily on top. And then we got Mammoslime, Mienshao, Mega Charizard X, Mew, Nidoking, Excadrill, Weavile, and Slowking. So Rye wasn't a complete failure this season. Good job. Kidding. So that is essentially the Golden Pokeball Award. I'll just scroll down through it very quickly. We have Reuniclus and Whimsicott right here at 14 and 15. Whimsicott at 14, Reuniclus at 15, so that's pretty cool. And we got Tyranitar at 34. So our team wasn't, like, super lopsided towards Mega Lopunny, no pun intended, so not super lopsided towards Mega Lopunny. We had some stuff in the top 50, top 30s. We got Nidoqueen at 46, and then we got Flareon and Zapdos. Flareon above Zapdos is hilarious to me, especially because Flareon came 2 matches, and Zapdos was in all of them but like 1. Then you got Kabutops down there, which is a very nice thing to have on the team. And then Ferrothorn all the way down here, but that's fine. Ferrothorn did its job perfectly fine. And then before we get into our own personal season, let's also just recap the league table real quick. As you can see, oh god, don't look at this. But anyway, I finished out in first. As you can see, we did okay. And then in second and third, you have Paul and Better Jack, and then everyone else down here. So you got Ellie, Jordan, Ruby, Evelyn, and then of course you can read the rest yourself if you'd like to. As you can see, the season went very well. Spoiler alert for the match between Jack and Liam for the promotion relegation match, so don't tune in a couple seconds if you don't want that match spoiled. 3, 2, 1, okay. Liam was able to actually beat Jack, so Jack will be spending another Season 2, and Liam will be in Division 1, and we will get to play him next season, which will be pretty exciting. So, with that out of the way, let us get into our own personal team page. Now, I'm first going to be going over our Mons and how they did. Like I mentioned, I'm just going to get this out of the way. Mega Lopunny did absolutely more than I ever could have asked. And I guess not super surprising to me, because that was basically what I built my team around, Mega Lopunny, and then just draft Mons that while they worked well into— oh my god, my alarm is going off. Sorry about that, that was my alarm to wake up, even though I'm up early already at 8:30. Mega Lopunny just did everything that I needed it to. It was a Mon that I could bring a same reliable set and it would do fine. I could be a little bit creative with it. Did great. It just was the perfect Mon for my team, and that's kind of what I intended it to do. I drafted the team, what I feel, perfectly around it, to be honest. I had Hazard Stack, I had Bird switch-ins, I had Fighting switch-ins. I feel like I paired it with a very good Pursuit Trapper, so it was— I mean, I feel like I built around it exactly how I should have, and I feel like the stats that it got were mirrored by that, so that's really good. Zapdos, our first drafted member, did very well again. Its stats don't look amazing, like 4 kills and 2 deaths isn't, something super incredible, but keep in mind it was in 10 games and died twice, so that's very good. It was always a very solid switch into a lot of Mons. I ran it offensive a couple weeks and it worked out very well for me. The only times it died were, I believe against Jack when I stacked it off to get a free switch, and then versus Rye when he got a high roll on Stone Edge, so that was really cool. Nidoqueen has become one of my favorite things ever. Like, it is just such a reliable ground type. It was able to set up T-spikes. It could be offensive. I caught Trav off guard with it with a Scarf set. during the Shieldon, which I did not bring previously. I typically brought it, I feel like I brought it defensive a lot of weeks, but it worked fine offensively as well. It was very good to run berries on so that I could live a hit and knock something out, like a Shook a Berry versus Chi. So it was just an incredible mon for me, even though, again, like, Nidoqueen's stats aren't that impressive, 5 and 6 -1, it was super key to this match, and I would happily draft this again. After that, Reuniclus, which is just an absolute monster, still, in my opinion, probably the most underappreciated Pokemon in both both the League format and in Standard play. It's just so good. It absorbed Scalds, it didn't care about status, it set up and won in a couple games, it was an excellent Life Orb attacker, ran Future Sight on it a few weeks, it's just an incredible Pokemon. And it's honestly one of my favorite bulky psychic types. Like, the ability to not be status, the ability to just take hits easily and then set up and win games, the ability to run multiple different good sets, it's just so good. The ability to have Focus Blast to hit dark types, it's just incredible. And then after that we got Tyranitar. And Tyranitar was definitely interesting to have. Definitely was really good. I really liked the offensive set. It was weird because I actually brought all 3 choice items on Tyranitar throughout the season, even though it was only in 6 games. I brought Scarfed, I believe, once or twice. I brought Banded, and I brought Specs once. I also ran things like Alarm Seance, sorry. Very, very nice. I never ran up a setup T-Tar. I brought a physically defensive one to take on Tup's Zard X. And what else did I run? I think I ran Choppleberry once, and I ran like Assault Vest once. So it was just, I ran like pretty much a different item and a kind of different set on it almost every week. Like, I ran Special, I ran Physical. So it really did a lot in the 6 games that I brought it. Trav definitely in D1 used it very differently. He used it more offensive. He used it as like a main killer of his team, or killer for his team, but really T-Tar just did really well in supporting the rest of the team, and it got its fair share of kills as well. And I would happily pick that again because it was just an incredible mon for the team. After that, probably the most surprisingly good performance on the team was Whimsicott. I picked up Whimsicott essentially just because I needed a fairy, and I wanted to fix my speed tiers a little bit. Like, I had Mega Lopunny up at 135, and then that dropped down to Zapdos at 100, and I didn't really like that, so I just picked up another kind of fast thing in Whimsicott, and that worked out perfectly as well. Like, I brought offensive every week except for the one against Ruby where I ran a no attacks sub-leech seed set, which was fun, and it even did work then. Whimsicott was just a really reliable mon to have throughout the season. It was fast, it hit surprisingly hard to a KO Clefable with Specs, and I just really enjoyed having it. I drafted it largely for the utility and ended up using it as one of my best offensive mons, which is kind of funny. Like, it's the second, it has the second best differential on my team at +8, so that was awesome. And then Jellicent was amazing to have as well. It was a great spin blocker throughout the season. I could speed creep things. It was able to shut down Juan entirely. Like, it shut down bulky teams, shut down more passive teams. I even brought it offensive one week, Scarf with Water Spout, to catch Ellie off guard to clinch my championship spot. So that was awesome. And there's not too much else to say about it. It was just a super reliable bulky water type. I love this thing. It fits on so many teams. It worked out perfectly. And I was very glad to have it. Its status things, like I said, it taunted. The taunt is probably my favorite thing on Jellicent because you can beat other bulky waters, you can beat other bulky things. It's just so good. And there's still, like, versatility in it that I didn't even get to use this season. After that, we got Kabutops, which was really, after I finished this draft, Kabutops was really the only thing that kind of seemed out of place. But even then, it put in its fair share of work. Got Rocks Up versus Ellie as kind of like a semi-suicide lead. It was definitely big versus Ruby. Granted, I could have swept him with Mega Lopunny in similarly the same way, but it ended up being Kabutops anyway, and I'm totally fine with that. Kabutops did great that match. It did exactly what I needed it to do. The priority Aqua Jet was always nice to check things offensively. Yeah, it was just a very reliable mon. It was also, I never needed Rapid Spin on it. I think I brought it once versus Ellie, but I never needed to use it. So that was cool. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. It did good at what it did. Nothing too crazy, but it it did well. You know, 3-1 in 2 games is not bad at all. Then we got Ferrothorn, and even though Ferrothorn has the worst differential on our team, it was definitely up there in importance as well. It was very reliable at setting up hazards, whether it be rocks or spikes. It was very reliable in getting chip damage off on things, whether it be with an attack or with iron barbs. 4 times weakness to fire was covered by the rest of my team. It just performed really well as well. Like, the utility on Ferrothorn was very useful as well. Week 1, I paralyzed Paul's Manaphy. I was able to bring Leech Seed on it, and was able to stall out things like an Embor with Leech Seed Protect. Not stall it out, but at least get a little bit more chip damage on it. So I'm very happy that I was able to pick it up, especially being able to pick it up that late, for the value that it meant to my team, like what it meant to my team. I'm happy with it, and I am very glad I picked it up, and I'll definitely pick it up again. Sure, it's not for every team. The 4 times fire weakness is unfortunate, because you know your opponent's going to run HP fire or whatever, but I actually kind of liked that my team had so many 4 times weaknesses, because people never knew what hidden power to bring. Like, I remember Chi struggled to pick between, like, hidden power, ice, fighting, and fire for my T-Tar, Nidoqueen, and my Ferrothorn, because, like, if he ran HP fire, couldn't touch my T-Tar or my Nidoqueen. If he ran HP fighting, couldn't touch Nidoqueen or my Ferrothorn, really, because it doesn't do a lot to Ferrothorn, etc. So, I really like that about the team as well, and you know, Ferrothorn of course helped to that, and it was good. It was really good for me. It offered a lot of good utility, offered a lot of good chip damage on things, and it did very well. Even though it never got a kill this season, it did what it did just fine, and I'm happy with that. And then after that, we got Flareon, which I didn't get to use as much as I wanted to. I mean, I guess I could have like fit it on some teams, but that one week against Jordan was so good. Just the physically defensive Assault Vest mixed attacking Flareon that got 3 kills against Jordan. It was just incredible. It put so much pressure on Rai as well. Just banded Flare Blitz just hurt everything. It did over half to a Powdon, did over half to Garchomp. It knocked out the Fortress at the end. That was just really cool. And Flareon was the only Pokemon on my team that played games and did not die. So Flareon, good job. I actually mean this when I say, like, Flareon was actually useful to the team, especially, like, paired with Ferrothorn as well. People were always afraid to go for a fire move, because what if you give, like, a banded Flareon a flash fire boost? You know, it was another good status absorber to pair with Reuniclus. It fit the team, and it worked. I picked it up because I literally didn't have Heal Bell, and I didn't have a fire type, and I was like, yeah, Flareon, and I ended up using it offensively. So that's the team. That is the team that never lost me a game till the Shieldon. We'll get to that. Some fun facts about the team is it never took hazards damage throughout the entire season. Never took hazards damage, never got hit by any hazard, ever. Rocks were up in 2 matches during my entire season, 1 versus Rai and 1 versus Jordan, and they were both as I was sending in my final mon to clean up the rest of the game. Which I think my final mon to clean up the game was always Flareon, which is funny. Yeah, it was always Flareon, actually. Near the last couple turns of the game versus Jordan, I sent in Flareon, he set up Stealth Rocks, and then I killed 3 things with Flareon at the end. And then versus Rai, I switched in Flareon, he set up Rocks with his Fortress, and I killed the Fortress with Flare Blitz. So nothing on my team ever took hazards damage. And that's awesome. Some people just didn't bring hazards versus my team because it doesn't do a lot. Like, I have a lot of resistances to rocks in general, a lot of things that take it neutrally, and then I only have 2 weaknesses, one being Zapdos and one being Flareon. Flareon, a lot of times people didn't expect to come. So there's that. So that's the fun fact. I didn't get hacks, like, ever, which is really nice. The only hacks that really negatively affected me was Rai getting a high roll on Stone Edge with his Mega Garchomp onto my Zapdos. I was able to knock it out from full. I had a 75% chance to live that Stone Edge, but he just straight up O-coded me. So that was definitely scary. That's why that was one of the most intense matches that I've had this season. And then the other one was Colton, when he flinched my Mega Lopunny with Sharpedo's Waterfall and made it so that Lopunny got a death this season. It's really funny to think that, like, if Lopunny didn't get flinched, it would not have died the entire season, and I would have brought it to almost every single game. So that's amazing to me, honestly. That, you know, nobody bar the person who asked me, could actually kill Megalopunny and Trav, but we'll get to there, Trav, okay? We'll come on, get there. So, moving on from the Mons, we have our seasons, which I'm going to center a little bit here. Our first match against Paul was definitely pretty intense. I was kind of ahead the whole game, but I wasn't ahead by much. Like, I was ahead by like half a step, and if I got unlucky at any point, or if... Shit, what is this alarm? My alarm title says adult time. That's how I motivate myself to get up in the morning. Anyway, sorry about that. The match with Paul was very intense. If he made a little bit more of... if he played a little bit maybe aggressively after he screwed up with his Lucario, then he would have potentially had that game. Essentially what happened in that match, if you didn't watch, was I went for Sludge Wave as he hard switched into Lucario, and then he miscalced thinking that I had a Nidoking, he miscalced a Nidoking instead of a Nidoqueen, so he thought Ice Punch could kill from Scarf Lucario. He went for Ice Punch, and I lived because I'm a Nidoqueen and I have added bulk, and he just lost his Lucario immediately. Also, Zapdos would have been a good switch into Lucario, but the person who gened for me gened it with 0 IVs in any stat. So I outslowed a Hydreigon, an uninvested Hydreigon. I outslowed everything. I was not nearly as bulky, so it wasn't a super reliable switch into Pinsir anyway. So it was just kind of obnoxious there. But we did end up pulling out a victory, with Lopunny being able to get 4 kills that week and just being able to clean up at the end, so that was really good for me. After that, we went up against Juan of the Amityville Haunters, in which Taunt Jellicent was able to put in a lot of work. Lopunny again getting a couple kills, and that was just kind of a very long and slow victory. I didn't make any super aggressive plays, I just played safely, and it ended up working out because his team was kind of weak to my team. His team was a little bit too passive for my offense and too passive for my defense. I was able to shut down his bulk and then just wear things down. And once Tornadus was gone, he didn't have a lot for the mons that I had, because Tornadus was definitely a good mon against my team, but I was able to deal with it with Zapdos, especially Zapdos being a great switch into it. Phone notifications, you need to go away now. Then the match against Jordan, that was also a lot of fun. Specs Whimsicott making its first appearance throughout the season, doing like half to a Skarmory, and then Flareon at the end just cleaning up, taking a Hydro Pump from Greninja and just... Was it Hydro? No, it was a Scald. It took a Scald from Greninja and then took like an Iron Head at -1 from the Skarmory, so it was just... That was fun. I really liked Flareon doing things, essentially. And then after that, we had the match with Chi. Now, the Chi matchup was definitely in my favor. I, once again, pretty much just played safely. Had my Nidoqueen do some stuff versus his Clefable, or at least scare out a +1 Clefable. I was able to get up hazards. Tyranitar, I think, did stuff. I think it weakened the Hitmonchan, which was nice. Mega Lopunny put in some work. That's just not super... That match is just not easy for me to remember for whatever reason. I can definitely watch it. All the matches are up on my channel. In order, of course, with the thumbnail, definitely... With the thumbnail, you know, all that stuff. Which, by the way, I will be thanking people at the end of this as well. So that match against Chi went pretty well. Match was in my favor. Played kind of safely. What else? I brought Specs Whimsicott again to a KO Clefable. That was really cool. So yeah. And then the match against Evelyn happened, and that was just the Mega Lopunny show. Once her offensive checks were gone, Mega Lopunny just... everything. Just destroyed everything. Zapdos got a quick kill on Celebi, her only Mega Lopunny switch in, and things just went well from there. There's not too much to say about it. Mega Lopunny with Fake Out and Quick Attack that week was just able to pick off everything. Then we had the match versus Better Jack, which is also pretty intense, but I was able to pull away with that one once again because of Mega Lopunny. I was able to set up a sub as he made a double into Zoroark, and at that point it was over. Mega Lopunny just swept through the rest of his team. He played around Nidoqueen kind of weird with his Licky Licky, like he kept Wish Protecting, which I thought was kind of odd, but I was eventually able to wear that down. He eventually took out my Nidoqueen anyway. I was Life Orb Infiltrator Whimsicott, though that never really got to make an appearance. He did bring a sub Victini, which was kind of scary, but I was able to deal with that. His team kind of pressured me a little bit, but I was able to pull it back. Or not even pull it back, I was able to maintain pressure on him as well, because he didn't have great low punny switch-ins, bar Gorgeist, which I was able to deal with. Didn't have Scar Victini, which was nice. And then we have the match against Ruby, aka the first game where Mega Low Punny took damage. It took a knockoff from a Landorus T, so it was not a lot of damage, but it was damage. Ruby, you're the first person to ever touch my Mega Low Punny, so good job. Even though literally setting up a substitute the week before did more damage to myself. It's irrelevant, good job. That match was pretty intense throughout until the end, because I was just able to kind of just wear his team down and make very good offensive plays against his team. Like predicting... There's also like a couple accidental good plays on my part. Like I went into my Rocky Helmet Iron Barbs Ferrothorn on a predicted Wild Charge, and then he went out into Florges on the same turn, predicting my Jellicent to have a Wakanberry, so he wouldn't be able to knock it out and he'd have to take a Scald. So that went really well. So I could have just set up Rocks versus that thing. Well, I did set up Rocks versus that thing as he switched back out in Ambor, so that was really nice. Let's see what else happened during that match. Mega Slowbro was a semi-offensive variant, I believe. It did not have setup. It was like Surf, Fire Blast, Slack Off, Toxic, yeah. Once he Toxic my Jellicent, that was annoying because I couldn't necessarily beat it 1v1 with Taunt because I'd be getting worn down. But the combination of Zapdos and some offensive pressure from Kabutops were able to beat it. That was the first game that I brought Kabutops and I put in a nice amount of work, so that was really good. Let's see, anything else to mention? Low Punny did good again, Toxic the Slowbro, and that was the game I brought the AIDS set of Whimsicott with Leech Seed, Encore, Sub, and Protect. Because he didn't have a Grass type, I capitalized on that. I was able to stall out a Weavile because it didn't have Ice Shard, couldn't hit me before I set up a sub. I was able to kill the Landorus with Leech Seed. I just Leech Seed stalled a lot of stuff, and it was annoying for him, I'm sure, but it worked, so I can't complain. I was also able to Encore the Mega Slowbro into either Recovery moves or Toxic, Recovery moves or Toxic, so that was really good as well. After that, we have the match against Raikou, and that was definitely a very intense match as well. That was the only match of the season that I didn't bring Mega Low Punny. I just felt like he had so many checks to it. Like, he had he had Sylveon, he had a Powdon, he had a Mega Garchomp that before Mega Evolving could get rough skin damage off on me. He had a Shaman, which he could take a hit and hit me with the Nair Slash Seed, Flare, Dazzling Gleam. So I just didn't feel like it had a good matchup that week. Instead, I brought a Choice Banded Flareon, which, like I said earlier, did massive damage to Hippowdon, did massive damage to Garchomp, and that one was scary because if I did not make a last minute change to put Shukaberry on my Nidoqueen, I straight up lost to the Mega Garchomp. Essentially, like I mentioned kind of earlier, he switched into my Flareon's Flare Blitz, took a lot of damage. I switched out to sack my Ferrothorn, he set up a sub, killed my Ferrothorn. I went Zapdos, hit it with an HP Ice, he knocked out my Zapdos on a high roll, and then I was forced out into my Nidoqueen to take an Earthquake, barely, but I took it, and then knocked it out with an Ice Beam. And at that point, my whole team was kind of weakened, except for my Reuniclus. And thankfully, I brought the godly Acid Armor Combined Reuniclus set, and I was able to pull that game back. And just kind of sweep him with Reuniclus at that point. I got a lot of kills with Reuniclus, and then I went out into Flareon and clicked Flare Blitz just to speed up the game a little bit. And then after that, we had our match against Colton, the Osaka Eevees. That was definitely very intense. I was ahead like most of the match, but I always knew that Sharpedo was an issue. He picked up Sharpedo specifically to beat me. And at the end, it almost did, because it flinched and then killed my Mega Low Punny. And then if he flinched my Zapdos once, I lost to that Sharpedo. But he didn't flinch, and he was able to knock out the Sharpedo with Volt Switch, which is great. Because that win confirmed my spot for Division 1. So even though it sucked to lose Low Punny, you know, Division 1's pretty sweet. And then, after that, the match against Ellie, where I brought the Choice Scarf Water Spouting Jellicent. And that was awesome, because it really caught her off guard. It killed one of the bigger threats to my team, which was Electabuzz. She also brought a Skill Swap Mew to Skill Swap my Reuniclus, which was really clever, also to attempt to Toxic me as well, so that was really cool to see. And then the match against Tup and the Pittsburgh Piratas, relatively straightforward. Mega Lopunny doing what Mega Lopunny do. He brought a Bandit Terrakion that I didn't have switch-ins to, but I was able to kill it. Like I said, with Lopunny, just pressured his team a lot. I was able to get rid of Steelix early on. With an Extra Belt Zapdos. Extra Belt Zapdos was also able to kill the Amoonguss, which is really cool. And yeah, we ended the regular season 11-0, plus 39, both our PPL records. No, Trav the Shieldon doesn't count. So, both of those PPL records. And that is about it for our season. However, like I said earlier, I do have a few thank yous to give out. So, if I missed anybody, I apologize. Just say your name in the comments like, hey, idiot, you forgot me. And then I'll be like, alright, yeah, that guy too. Thank you to Rye, Jack, Juan, Sly, Kelly. I think there's probably more that I'm forgetting. Those 5 were Jenning / recording my videos. Jenning, my mom's recording my videos, of course. So a very big thank you to them. Very big thank you to Tito's, who made the thumbnails for all of these videos. They're beautiful, they look amazing, and I'm very grateful for him. He did them for the entirety of the PPL, so thank you very much. Thank you very much to... Thank you very, very much to Sandwiches, aka Beth. You may have heard of her from streams, you may follow her on Twitter. She made the very wonderful looking layout that we have for the PPL matches, the Wi-Fi matches. We used that last season as well, and I did thank her for it again, but I used it again, so thank you very much, Beth. It is a beautiful layout, so thank you very much, Beth. Looks great. And let's see, who else do I have to thank? Thank you, Kyle, for the assistance in team building on some weeks. He was definitely a good help, gave me some very good ideas. Let's see, anybody else? Gotta thank anybody else. Not really, just thank you everybody for an amazing season as well. Thank you guys watching, supporting the Luxrays in our undefeated season. So I believe that's pretty much it. So, well, okay. Shieldon. So, the Community Shieldon was between me and Travesty, and right when I thought I was about to win, just like last season, he was like, nah, because I was dumb and forgot. Don't know why, but for a complete few minutes, or just the few seconds that I took to make that decision, it didn't register that Tyranitar could go for a Dragon Dance and win at that point, which is really dumb. Because throughout all the rest of my matches, I was like, okay, what can this thing do to me? If this does this, can he win? If I respond to this negatively, can he possibly get a win out of this? Throughout every other match during the season, but for that brief moment of time, I was like, yeah, just stay in and click a move that's not going to do anything to T-Tar, and then he Dragon Danced, which is the first time he brought DD the entire season. I didn't even bring it the entire season, so that was the first time a Tyranitar clicked Dragon Dance the entire season on both divisions, so happened to be against the me, and just like last season, he had the perfect coverage to deal with the rest of my team. So, he essentially just capitalized on a mistake that I made, which is what good players are supposed to do. When your opponent makes a misplay, you capitalize them. When you get hacks, you capitalize on it. Even though it's unfortunate for your opponent, you always capitalize on what you can during a match so that you have the best chance to win. So yeah, that was our worst loss, but thankfully it doesn't really count because it means nothing. So still very well played by him. Like, no discredit to him at all. He beat me. He beat me without hacks, and he capitalized on my mistake. And if that's how you win a match, then good job. So, thank you guys very much for watching. That is all I'm going to cover in this end season recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. However, I am going to be doing some off-season stuff. I'm going to be participating in the TBU. Well, just in TBU, because the T in TBU is the, so that's a terrible name. Anyway, we got a sick new logo that we're going to be showing off pretty soon. The draft is happening on, what's the day, May 22nd at 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m. EST. I'm hopefully going to have that video up maybe the day before then, somewhere around there. I'll hopefully have it up before then. If not, sorry, already happened. Hope you like the team. I don't know what it is yet either, but hope you like it. So we got TBU that I'll definitely be uploading, and then I have one more announcement that I'm going to have its own separate video for that I'm sure plenty of people have already seen on Twitter. It's a pretty big one. But I will be making a separate video to that will hopefully be going up the day after or 2 days after this goes up. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our season. I certainly did, and I cannot wait to come back for the next season of PPL. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in whatever video I upload next.